Hi, my name is Jenessee Roy, and welcome to this month's Pick Your Path. So if you have not done this with me before, what we do is each month we get really conscious to be able to help look at and diagnose our own chakra system to see where we're patterning old habits, old limiting thoughts or behaviors into this now moment, and where we are staying open to what's coming in. And so we do this by looking at our multidimensional chakra system. We also do this by looking at the month and the numerology of the month, which will help to anchor us into a really collective energy that's happening with and through and around all of us right now. So this month is June, and June is the most amazing, it's midway point for the year, right? And June is a 6, so 6 is all about love. It is a love month, and this is so good. It's perfect for me, somebody who lives in Ohio. We've been waiting basically all throughout the winter to get to this, and so there is love in the air. Everything is just blossoming around here, and you can see it. The birds are singing, people are getting out, and everybody's just happy again. So, you know, there's this natural, and then kids are out of school, all of these things, right? It's all of this transition into the love energy. And so there's just this effervescence when it comes to June. It's also a midway point between our year, which is a 22 year, which means we're in this master builder cycle, and it's really a master builder energy of love because we're in a 2022 year, which means we've got another 6, right? 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So we're in this master building cycle. And what are we master building? We're master building love. And then what month are we in? June, which is another 6, which is another love. So we are just surrounded by the ooey gooey yumminess of the collective right now. And that doesn't mean we're not going to have some stuff come up to see if we're ready to accept this. But depending on, you know, what your thoughts, what your feelings, and what your actions have been that have led you up to this point is really going to determine what path you're walking and how you are going to start to bring more of this love in and start to build your heaven on earth with more love, acceptance, appreciation, or if you're maybe in resistance to some of this effervescence, wonderfulness that is coming in around you, right? My highest truth is that everything is always perfect. And so if you can't see the perfection, you're literally blocking yourself from the love. And so perfection to me is the divine love that is surrounding everything here in this reality. And so if you can't see perfection, if you feel disconnected, then you are resisting somehow this love. So let's take a look at that today and see what this month of June is going to bring us. So, if you have not been with me before, I track out through the camera, and I'm standing today because I didn't want to take an extra 30 seconds to get my chairs, so I'm trying standing. So I have more fluidity to bob and weave, so excuse me because I'm a really animated person. So I track out this way, and I've got one row of cards up and one row of cards down. Basically what I do is I use the Chakra Oracle deck, which is an oracle deck that I channeled and created to represent the 78 multidimensional windows that come in to help us explain this chakra system. And basically each card is a window that helps us look into this multidimensional fabric that is our chakra system. So that's what I use to read. I pull 4 cards for each path, and that's what I'm going to review for you right now. We're going to decide right now if you are walking blue path or red path this month. And so blue path, how we're gonna decide if you're here is we're gonna look at basically what you were experiencing in May. May was a change month. May should have, I love this analogy, it's one of my favorites. May should have been one of those sand sifters that you see at a beach or in a kid's play box, where they take the sifter and they put a bunch of sand in it and then they shake it until all the sand comes out and just the big rocks are left. So that was May. To me, that's energetically what May was all about. It was this like, what still needs to be released from your field? What are you still holding on to? And what are you letting go of, right? Where are the changes? What is rocking or crumbling? It's the bedrock, the foundation that's crumbling beneath you to help let go of these things that are sticking on, holding on, that we don't need. And so it should have been a real kind of shake, 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 wake up month to help get you realigned yet again. And so what we'll do is we'll look for both red and blue path at what you were experiencing last month and see or tap into that energy. And then that will dictate what you will walk into this month. So we'll review those two energies first, basically what was happening to you in May. And then based off of what energy you pick, we'll determine what path you're going to be walking. Why we do this and why we get granular in this way or break it down is because there's lots of different energies that are happening all around. And so it's really nice to kind of refine and get just a bit deeper with who am I and what am I experiencing? And so we want to just kind of get a little bit more detailed there. So I'm going to start right in with blue path. So blue path, and it's really interesting actually looking at red and blue path. They're exact opposites of each other. And sometimes this happens, and I actually love when this happens because it makes it really easy to decide what path you're on. And basically we're focused 100% on throat chakra, which we thought we finished throat chakra last year, 2021, but sneakily it's come back up in very predominant ways this year. So throat chakra is all about how we're communicating to the world. It's about not only the external voice and how we're confident or authentic or pure in what we say and how we communicate, and our truths that come through our voice, what we hold in and what we communicate out. But it's also about the internal voice. It's about how you're talking to yourself. It's about, what this internal kind of verbal response to what you think, and then how you either reject what you think, by saying, I can't do that, inside your own mind, right? So when you have these beautiful epiphany thoughts and then instantly kind of tell yourself, you're not good enough, you can't do it, we shouldn't be doing that. So there's a whole internal dialogue that we go through day in and day out as well. And so again, remember, this is the month of love. This is the year of love, and we are building our heaven on earth. So this entire pick your path is really geared towards making sure that you're in alignment to living in the love this month and accepting that so that you can be in the perfection of what's coming in, what's anchoring in, because we're really getting foundational this year to make sure that we are the living embodiments of our divinity on this earth. So blue path, you're going to pick blue path if you were living the throat chakra. It is the classic throat chakra energy, which means in the physical plane, it's sitting on the throat chakra. In the emotional plane, it's sitting on the throat chakra. And in the mental, spiritual plane, it's the throat chakra energy. So this is the classic throat chakra. And so what that means is last month, in May, when everything was changing, it would have been a hyper emphasis on your voice. It would have been all about what you're communicating, how you're then communicating certain things, and then actually acting on those things. When you told somebody you would do something for them, did you do it right away? Could you be reliable? Were you predictable? Were you living in authenticity, meaning what you spoke, you actually meant, right? So, and I would say yes, the answer should be yes. If you're going to pick blue path, it should have been a really, a very clear, just somebody who is truly living in the, I always say the voice is one of the clearest manifestation tools that we have. Our voice, when in alignment to our truth, our destiny, when we receive intuition or when we receive truth through thoughts, right? When we're so clear on what we're thinking about or what we're receiving as our kind of guidance, right? When that is so clear that we don't hesitate we don't mince our words, and we just communicate that outwardly to the people or whatever the situation is that surrounds us. When you can do that, when you can be the living channel for what you're thinking and then communicate it, and then people hear your truth, it's one of the quickest ways that you can manifest, in my opinion, in this reality. You can see who's on board outside of you. You can see who's not on board and ready to, tuck tail and run. So speaking your truth always leads to a very clear path forward. So during a lot of the shift, a lot of the change that was happening in May, which could have been tumultuous, it could have been a bit of a rocky month, or just things shifting and changing. Were you willing to speak up? Were you willing to speak your truth? Did you not hide behind not saying things or giving half truths because you were fearful of what people would think or what people would say? So this is somebody who really anchored into their voice, the power of their voice, and using their voice in a very clear-cut way to help to manifest. And again, it doesn't mean May was good, but it means that you stuck by and you stood up for yourself. You were pure, you were clear, you were not in deceit or lying or any of this stuff, right? So that would be the person who's going to be walking Blue Path this month. So if that is you, I suggest just going to the end of this video, because if not, you were telling lies or lies were being told to you, right? So very clear distinction between Red Path and Blue Path this month. So Blue Path, go to the very end of the video, and you can look at the next part of this, which is going to be the mastery, what you're mastering for this month of June, if you're walking Blue Path this month. So if that's not you, or you want to hear what Red Path is, Red Path is all about deceit. So it's the shadow of the throat chakra, where Blue Path was the balanced aspect of the throat chakra. Red Path is going to be the shadow, which means I use the word block, but I use the word block lightly. Nothing's ever permanently blocked. What it is there is a pattern coming in right now, or there's something that's there's a stagnancy, a pattern, and I would call this a block, but it's nothing permanent. It's just something that you're going through right now to show you, it's like a block in a pipe, right? Our chakra system is a multidimensional grid of pipes that need to keep the energy moving and flowing and oscillating around you. And so when something gets stuck or blocked, it basically jams up the pipes that create this channel of everything. It doesn't just affect the throat, it affects all the chakra systems. So what you would be experiencing in May during the change month would have been a block of this throat chakra energy, and it's deceit, which means lies. So it's either very clear, and it can be both, but it would be either you were in a mode of not communicating truth, you were telling lies or communicating half-truths or white lies, or just didn't feel confident communicating the truth of a situation or the truth of your knowing or whatever it might be, or it could be that there was a lot of deceit and untruth surrounding you, meaning you caught people in lies. Maybe, collectively the energy of the world was about being lied to, or you just felt like, maybe something at the school system your kids go to. Maybe there was something that was really underhand or shady, something that just didn't feel right. Maybe it was, a store clerk that just seemed like they were suspiciously not giving you the right change, right? Can be very little things, but it would be little things that kind of constantly pattern that get you to start distrusting in people because they're not living in the purity of either what they're communicating or what their actions are. And so again, this is about deceit. This is about an energy of lying or being lied to. And so that would be the total energy that would have showed up around May. And again, May being this change month, it could have been a really, I'd say, if their lies was the main kind of component here, or you not being really comfortable speaking your truth or telling the truth and trying to hide something from somebody, or vice versa, them from you, it would have created a lot of discomfort, and a lot of not feeling grounded last month. And so that's really what we're talking about with change, shifting, foundations not feeling stable, bedrock crumbling, right? That would be the energy we're looking at here. So hopefully with this, now you know if you're going to be walking blue path with purification, which is the embodiment of the throat chakra energy, or red path, which is going to be the shadow of the throat chakra, which is deceit. So go ahead and pick your path now, and then join me for the next video, which is going to explain the mastery of your path.